Welcome back to Design Bundle's YouTube channel. If you guys are new here, my name is Crystal, and today we're going to be doing a very beginner-friendly project using our Cricut. So what we're going to be using is iron-on. We're just going to use some basic iron-on. This is white. This is Caesar brand, but you can use whichever brand you're comfortable with. You just need a piece of white basic. So what we're going to be creating is what looks like a screen print effect. So it's going to have some distressing and things like that. This is a very simple project, not a ton of distress that it's hard to weed, but it's going to look great. So this is going to be the design that we're going to be using right here. So we're going to go ahead and head on over to Cricut Design Space. I'm going to go ahead and upload this and show you guys how to size it and get ready to cut it out. Once you have opened up Cricut Design Space and you are on the canvas, the very first thing I do is I go over here and change my machine. So today I'm going to be using the Cricut Explorer 3, so I'm going to go ahead and switch that now. And then I'm going to go to my uploads. I've already downloaded it and uploaded it here in Cricut Design Space. So you're going to click on the file you're using today and hit Insert Image. And from here, we're just going to go ahead and size it. So I think I'm going to go ahead and go with 10 inches wide. And then I'm going to go ahead and hit enter, and that's going to give me my height of 8.3. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to double check over on the side that I don't have a bunch of layers I need to weld. It's all together. This is a perfect file for beginners. Now we're going to go ahead and hit make it, and we're going to tell it we want to cut on the mat. And then we are going to mirror it. Because we are using HTV iron-on, you do want to use mirror. So as you guys can see, it flips it in reverse. So once you have it like this, everything is good to go. We're going to hit continue and choose our material. So our machine is loading here. I'm going to go to popular, and then I'm going to choose everyday iron-on just like so. And now we're ready to go. All right, so now we're ready to go. I'm using my blue mat today. You can use your blue mat or your green mat for your iron-on. So I'm going to use the blue. I just like it because it releases a whole lot easier. So what we're going to do is you're going to take a piece of, your 12 by 12 material here, or you could cut it down to size. So I'm going to go ahead and load this right on the mat. I like to start right over in a corner, and then I'll just kind of smooth everything out, just like so. And if you're not comfortable with it, it's okay to pull it right back up and lay it right back down. So you should look something like this. You always want to start right over here in this corner, which would be on your left-hand side. So always start right in this corner. All right, so we are ready to go, and you're going to load your material on the mat upside down. So your gloss side is down, the matte looking side is up. We're ready to go. We have our settings to just everyday iron-on. We're going to open up our machine. I've already got it on. We're just going to go ahead and hit the open button, and let's load it. So let's go ahead and get this underneath our two white feet. All right, so now that it's loaded in, we're ready to cut it out. I'm going to go ahead and hit the flashing go button. So your little play button here, you're just going to hit that go, and it's going to start to load it now and cut it out. Now, what I recommend is if you're using your Cricut Easypress or if you're using your heat press, you want to make sure that you already have that preheated. So you just want to go ahead and turn that on and have it ready to go. I highly recommend that you actually start your heat press before you even work with your design inside of Cricut Design Space, because it will take a while for a heat press to heat up. Now, if you are using your Cricut Easypress while this is cutting out or while you're weeding, go ahead and start your Cricut Easypress. That one does go, it heats up a lot faster, so I would recommend just heating that up when you're weeding your project. If it's just a real small weed, definitely do it while it's cutting out. So you can definitely do the same project with your Cricut Easypress, but today we're going to be using our heat press. Now for the heat press, I have it set for 305 for around 12 seconds. And if you're using your Cricut Easypress, you want around 320 for close to 15 to 30 seconds. And then you also want to flip that t-shirt and you want to press it again for another 15 seconds. So it does have a little bit more time with the Cricut Easypress, but it's totally worth it. It's portable, you can put it away. But like I said today, I'm going to show you using a heat press. While we're on our last few minutes of this cutting out, I'm going to go ahead and pull my moisture out. So you can do this ahead of time, or you can do this right before you're going to lay your iron-on down, your iron-on HTV. So I'm going to go ahead and pre-press now just because I like to be doing stuff in between, so that way I'm saving some time. So to pull out your moisture, you can even do this before it's all the way preheated. So right now it's only at around 235, and that's okay. So I'm going to go ahead and swing this out of my way, and I want to make sure I'm avoiding any sort of seams here. So if you need to get a pressing pillow to get above those, you can definitely do that. So I'm just going to go ahead and do this. Now, if you were using the Cricut Easypress, you're already going to be above those seams anyways because you're using a pressing pad. Now, because of the size of this hoodie, I do need to avoid my seams because these ones here are falling off, but this one right here is definitely not. You don't want to say, oh, I'm just gonna skip around it. You can't do that. I'm gonna need a pressing pillow. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my pressing pillow here. I'm gonna get it right underneath. As long as it's in my area that I'm gonna press, I'm good to go. So those other seams are just gonna fall right off. I can take my press and press it. Now that we've, been here, it's around probably 285. So like I said, it doesn't matter. It doesn't need to be all the way up to the 305 to pre-press. You're just pulling out that moisture and smoothing out any wrinkles. So I think that's good. You can do it for around 5 to 10 seconds. So that's pretty good there. And so now what we'll do is we'll bring this back over to the table. All right, so we're all done cutting out. So we're gonna go ahead and remove this. The best way to do this is just kind of get it at an angle like this. Flip it over and then remove your mat. So your mat can kind of bend. You don't want to bend it all the way in half. You don't want to break it, but you can kind of pull like this. So you're basically removing your mat off of your material. It just makes it a whole lot easier. All right, so now we're ready to weed. I'm going to go ahead and get a corner here. And I'm going to go ahead and weed this. So what I like to do at first is I pull away all the big pieces that I can see first, and then I'll go back in and get all those little details last. Now, if you notice that my vinyl here is a little bit tougher pulling out, Caesar Easy Weed is always usually pretty easy. If it's cold, so whenever the colder months start to hit, like I have granite countertop that stays cool, you'll notice that it's a little bit tougher to pull. All you simply have to do is set this on your platen here, and you can weed right over here. So if I actually weed right here, you're gonna notice how much easier this stuff will weed. So I'm trying to find my light so I can see over here. But you guys can kind of see that. You can see how much easier that's just kind of peeling off. So that's just a little tip from me. And there you guys have it. You guys can see it looks great. This is a great screen print hack whenever it has this very distressed with your vinyl. So this is going to be very fun, very cool. You could also do this in the opposite. So weed all these pieces out with adhesive vinyl and a screen, and you can actually screen print this same design if you wanted to using adhesive vinyl and a screen, which we'll do in another video very soon. So I'm really excited. Here's our design. We're going to go ahead and apply it now onto our hoodie. All right, so let's go ahead and get ready to line it up on our hoodie. So what we're going to go ahead and do here, so I'm going to take my hoodie here. I'll probably scoot this out of the way. All right, so let's get ready to apply this. I'm going to go ahead and just spread my hoodie out here. And then I'm going to take my design here. And then to find your center, what you're simply going to do is fold your design in half. So I have the sticky on the outside. I'm going to line it up until it's even. So until my design is even, you just need a nice crease at the top, one little crease, and this is gonna help you line it up. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna come down where your line is, this piece right here. This is where your center is. So you're just gonna go ahead and come down just a few inches. So something right about here looks good, just kind of making sure that everything is nice and straight. So I've came down around 4 fingers or so, and this is what it looks like. Looks good. All right, so let's go ahead and load it into our heat press. Now, remember, we are using that pressing pillow because this size is a little bit smaller, so you're gonna need a pressing pillow. So that's different from shirt to shirt, hoodie to hoodie. Each size is going to, bring seams in and stuff, so make sure you guys pay attention to that. Okay, so once I have this down, it's where I want it. I'm gonna go ahead and slide the pressing pillow underneath. It's easier to do it after the fact because you're gonna have this kind of moving around on you. So just gonna making sure it's underneath, completely underneath where my design is. That's the only thing I'm worried about. And scoot it over just a smidge. I think it's ready to go. Once again, I've got it around 305 for 12 seconds. I'm just gonna go ahead and press it down. You want medium pressure or so, and we're gonna go ahead and just press it. Once again, if you're using the Cricut Easypress, around 320 for 30 seconds. Flip it again and press one more time, 15 seconds. Lift it up, and now we're gonna peel. And there you guys have it. Super easy, and it looks screen print. Because of that distressing, it gives us that screen print feel. It looks great, and this just looks like it's so much more. So this went from around a $6 to $10 hoodie all the way up to $35, $40. So definitely check it out. Try this one for beginner friendly. It is super easy, and it's going to give you that screen print look. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you found it helpful. If you did, please hit the like button down below and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.